You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk. Movie musings for mostly everyone. And happy Thanksgiving week. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I'm your hunk.
Are we supposed to say the name of our show? We usually say the name of our show. It doesn't matter. It's on the album.
We usually
art.
do.
You know what it is.
But I did it different because
you
it's
know what
different.
it is.
Different.
I'm
now.
Doge, and because I need to know if you're with Chunk or with them.
Nice.
I'm Carter, and you have to chunk the mouthfeel of the mignonette. Please don't say mouthfeel.
Very good. Very good.
Wonderful. You seem like you really want us to ask you something, Jordan.
Introduction.
It's usually what we do. Yeah, I'm the hunk.
Tell us about it.
We're decorating for Christmas tomorrow. That will be Saturday, November 19th.
Cool.
And I was just telling Carter before we started the episode that every year our transition from fall brain to Christmas brain begins right after decorating our tree. We will settle into the couch comfortably and watch Just Friends.
Cool.
That is our yearly, hey, Christmas hath begun.
Yeah.
Christmas is here.
Just Friends every time. We've creeped back. We used to decorate right after Thanksgiving, but what we learned a few years ago was too tired.
Yeah.
Too tired.
Do you know
So
when we put our
decorated
tree up
by
last
four.
year? We put our tree up on December 16th last year.
a
Too
little
sad.
late.
Too sad, too
little late.
late.
Yeah.
That is a bit late.
Wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, we've had ours up since the 4th of July this year, so we're
good for you.
good to go.
Good for you. Really making up lost ground. I think that's great.
Santa bless America.
I used to view Thanksgiving as just a little obstacle to leap over in order to get to Christmas.
Yeah.
But as I've aged,
Many do.
I have grown to greatly appreciate Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is a sleeper comeback holiday for me, where it's just
Agreed.
like, this could be, given enough time, my very favorite.
No,
It is
Christmas will
wonderful.
never be unseated for me, but
See, and y'all don't even, please forgive me for assuming. I wouldn't imagine sports is a big part of your Thanksgiving.
almost
is-
zero.
Let me tell you, it
Yeah.
couldn't be a smaller part of my Thanksgiving.
So that is an added layer for me because there's football. There's like great football
You
on
get to
Thanksgiving.
yell at big boys with their bouncy
Now
ball
there's
and their
also
colorful
like
costumes.
the international football. The World Cup is going to be
that is true.
happening this weekend. It kicks off this weekend. So the World Cup will be going down. I believe not Thanksgiving Day, but there's a big U.S. matchup that happens during the Thanksgiving weekend. So
I'll tell you,
That is interesting.
As soon as Thanksgiving meal ends, as soon as I put it away in my belly, oop, it's Christmas time. Why are all these Thanksgiving decorations up?
Yeah.
What? It's not Thanksgiving anymore. What are you doing? Why are there turkeys
why do I have this?
and browns and oranges everywhere? It's Thanksgiving's over. I just finished eating. Why is there no Christmas tree?
What are Thanksgiving decorations, by the way? I mean, do you have like a big turkey that you dress?
I
in
do
the
not,
corner of
but
your house?
my mom, dude, my mom adores Thanksgiving decorations, man.
Yeah.
What she does is she buys jack-o'-lantern decorations, like stuffed jack-o'-lanterns, plastic jack-o'-lanterns. And then after
she turn
after
around?
Halloween, she just turns them little bad boys around.
that's fun.
Just a pumpkin
That's
on the
smart.
back, baby. Just a
Yeah,
pumpkin
yeah.
on the back.
Love
That's
that.
real smart. I love that transition.
all it is.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, she's all about using every part of the fall buffalo for sure.
Yeah.
That's really
Then
funny.
come
Yeah.
Christmas time, she paints it white and puts it on the skinny
Paints it.
torso and
Yeah.
makes it act like it's Santa.
Makes it be a...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that's exactly what it is. So instead of
Nightmare Before Christmas. I
No, I
just
got
thought
it.
he kind of has
Instead
a
of
pumpkin
football,
shape.
instead of football, we will probably marathon Christmas movies right after Thanksgiving meal as a family.
right.
Probably just throw on some Grinch, some Elf, maybe some,
we are hosting Thanksgiving for the first time this year.
There you go.
Whoa.
I'm pretty nervy about it. We alternate. We switch families every Thanksgiving. So this year we're with Jess's family, but her parents are actually
not one family ever the same. There's a new one.
It's a brand new family this year. Excited to try them out. No, her parents are going to be in Hawaii, and we're hosting at our house. And I feel like that is a whole different degree of adult pressure that I don't know I was prepared for.
Yeah, the game done changed, buddy.
I don't know that I was prepared for that. We've already talked. I don't think we're going to do turkey because we're like, you know what? We're going to have turkey at Christmas probably.
I would riot.
So, nah, man. I think we might go like real casual. I think frozen pizza and hot dogs. No, I'm just kidding. Not frozen pizza and hot dogs.
I'm down for any of it, man.
I'm pushing for pulled pork. I'm a pulled pork boy. I do a great pulled pork. I'm just trying to say, let's do it. Let's do it chill. We're not trying to honor any turkeys or anything on this
pulled
day.
pork. Okay.
It's pulled pork. Run through the little jet that turns it into
Pulled
snow.
pork ceviche.
It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
I'm down.
appreciate that. Well, you know.
Hey, you know what though? When you take a big bite and it's still cold inside, that's ceviche.
That's ceviche.
When the bite is so cold and your face is so cold, that's super cold.
I love when we're on the same page.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Food. You can't live without it.
Yeah.
That's what everybody says, at least.
You definitely can't.
You sure?
Can't. I said you definitely can't.
Yeah, you got to have it.
I said you can't.
Jerry, I think it's time to talk about a movie on our movie podcast.
Yeah, let's at least name
Seems like
it.
a novel idea.
Yeah.
And we're honoring the Thanksgiving holiday because today the movie that we're bringing you is known as The Menu. And
This
the
lined up
synopsis for
perfectly.
it goes a little something like this. I knew it. I knew you. I could see in your
I just had
face
to
that you
scroll.
had nothing.
I just had to scroll back up from the quote section because we were in such a good flow.
I could
we were going
see
so
in your
great talking about
eyes
Sometimes
Thanksgiving.
you
that
lose
had
track in the flow.
Nothing ready.
Wow.
Centuries ago, people who lived long before us were confronted with the fact that they didn't know how to reckon with knowledge itself. Where did knowledge come from? Where did thought and reason originate? And they discovered that this comes from the goddess Athena, who, of course, sprung fully formed from the head of Zeus, no mother, ready to dispense wisdom to the mortal
I
world.
genuinely thought you were about to synopsize the Thanksgiving story.
Well, I saw the Zeus coming.
And the same way as Athena sprung from the head of her father in the tales of old, so did this synopsis burst forth instantly out of the ether with no originator.
Every time you do this, all I can think of is Dwight just counting to kill time because he doesn't have an idea.
A young couple travels to a remote island to eat at an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises.
The build up to the synopsis, honest to God, was longer than the synopsis.
Hey, that is, listen, everything we do on this show is somebody's favorite part of this show. I have to believe that, otherwise I waste a lot of time talking to you guys on a microphone. There has to be something that is everybody's favorite part of the show.
Yeah, I agree.
So that whoever you are, whoever that Athena story is your favorite part of the show, you're welcome. Be thankful.
Also, who are you? You know what my favorite bit is? The same one over and over again.
That makes it a bit.
Bro, when people buy Journey tickets, they want them to play Don't Stop Believing.
That's true.
Lights for me, but
Yeah,
we're separate
Don't Stop
ways.
Believing in itself is kind of a synopsis, isn't it?
Faithfully. I think Don't Stop Believing gets dookied on by a lot of Journey songs, actually.
Yeah,
But I get it. It's probably the hypest moment of the whole show.
Yeah, probably.
I bet.
Yeah. Love
probably.
Faithfully. Love when the lights go down in the city.
If I was at a Journey show right now,
I've seen them.
have you really?
Yeah.
With
Steve
Steve
Brothers
Perry?
opened. No.
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Still, that new guy is incredible.
new guy's great.
Phenomenal.
Incredible. If I was at a Journey show right now and the intro to Separate Ways began, I would probably cry. I bet I would cry.
Yeah. They have so many. That's the thing. Everyone knows about Don't Stop Believing, but it's like, you guys, there's 20 other good Journey songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if instead of Don't Stop Believing. It was just like, someday love will find you. Oh, it's so good, dude. That was accidentally
tasty.
the Dragon Force vocalist for some reason. Don't know why, but it was.
Hey, the menu.
Yeah.
We saw this.
We did see this, and it's interesting. There's this thing happening with movies right now, over, I would say, the last like 4 years, even pre-COVID, where showings for superhero movies and a select few other blockbusters are like fight for your seat.
Yeah.
Showings for anything below that top tier blockbuster level, ghost town.
Complete ghost town.
Ghost town.
Central.
There was a literal dog in our theater.
That's it? Just one dog.
It was just us and a guy with a dog, pretty much.
ghost.
Dog
We had
was very
30.
well behaved. I got no beef with the dog.
Hey, there was an older lady next to me, like probably grandma age, like not the seat right next to me, but 2 seats over, who thought this was the funniest movie they had ever seen.
Dude, was it me?
We probably had 50 maybe. 50 people.
Oh, we had
that's a lot.
less than 10.
Did you go to
man.
Alamo?
Yeah.
I assume Alamo probably
Yeah.
attracts more of a crowd that's into like film and
Yeah.
wants
Into
to see
film.
other things besides just blockbusters. But all that to say, I'm going to be honest. If I could see every movie in a mostly empty theater, that would be ideal for me.
Dude, it
No
was
crunchies,
It was
dude?
me and 3 other people when I went to see Bullet Train. Jess wasn't even with me. One of the
Nice.
best movie
Wow.
experiences of my life. Not because she wasn't
And-
with me, but it was very private.
Our theater had the right
Gotta make
energy
sure,
for
gotta
this
make sure.
movie. They
Yeah.
were giggling.
Yeah, we
they
did
were
too.
gasping. It was a good vibe up in that place. I think that this movie is going to slot into a really unique place in cinema because it is not any one thing by itself. And I think a lot of times the sort of like thriller, it's not quite horror, right? Like what genre would you give this movie?
It's still, I mean, IMDb gave it horror.
IMDb
Okay.
classifies it as horror, but it's like a horror, like satirical comedy.
Dark
almost.
comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I didn't do too much research into this movie before we watched it, like who all was involved. And the whole time I was thinking that it felt like an episode of Succession. And
There you
then
go.
it finished. And Mark Mylod is the director and Adam McKay and Will Ferrell are EP. Like it's basically just the Succession team
Yeah.
that made this movie.
Big vibes of that too.
And so it totally fits why the humor hits exactly like the Succession humor does. And it's a little bleak and like peppy at the same time.
It's interesting that they were able to make such a like unique mark on it though. The Succession team basically who's come over and just kind of taken this project over because it wasn't originally their project. Like it was
Right.
in 2014, I think is when it almost got made last time, maybe 2017. And Emma Stone was attached to star instead of Anya Taylor-Joy. And like
No
it was
way.
a whole different team and stuff. So it's really interesting that they're able to come in and just be like, actually kind of, this is our thing now. And it's our vibe.
Sure.
yeah. And they did it.
When you eat Thanksgiving dinner, guys, do you eat one thing at a time? Is it like, okay, I'm going to
Yes.
eat all of this at one
Yes.
time? Or do you go little bites of everything all the way through?
No, I'm
Do you
one
make
thing at a
sure
time.
you-
Of everything.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Little
I
bites of everything.
start with an introduction to all of the flavors and have everything individually.
So you can rank it.
then I begin to combo.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, like, because after that point, there's hardly a fork that has only one kind of thing on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you usually like, is your base the turkey, is your base the protein, and then you might add some mashed taters or some sweet potatoes? Or is it like
You know what?
maybe mashed potatoes and some cranberry sauce? Or maybe,
Yeah,
you know?
Thanksgiving gets a little wild. I think
love
the protein probably takes up the least amount of space
Yeah.
on my plate. I'm a big
Same.
I
sides guy.
agree, dude.
I'm a
it's all
carb
about
boy.
sides for me.
Carbohydrate.
It's kind of like you
but-
don't need to, and as tough as it is, it's like, don't do like a roll by itself first.
No.
It has to be
you're
with.
taking up real estate at that point.
And honestly, that's probably one of the last bites that I have because that's my sponge. Like if you know anything,
Yep.
you're taking the roll, especially a good yeast roll. That's when the Hawaiian roll comes and becomes the star too.
Yeah.
Because of the
'Cause that
buoyancy there.
sweetness. Yes.
Just get it
Dude,
all together.
You crack open one of those crusty yeast rolls and then just wipe that inside through some gravy, just a train of gravy right there.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think the first step I have
even
though
need
with
butter.
the entire meal, first step I have though is opening the yeast roll to put butter in and let it just sit.
Like a pot. Do you do it
Marinate
like
for
a
a while.
pocket or do you cut it straight in half?
I'm a straight and half guy.
I'm a pocket guy.
Okay.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Yeah,
and
I'm not
I think that's what's
typically.
great.
I don't touch my roll till the very end, and I break it in half. Like
So there's no butter situation. Is there a butter situation for you at some point?
not usually.
what's
There's
your
just like little bits of everything else that I ate that day.
I do half
My plate
of a
looks like you
roll,
could lick it
per
when I'm done.
serving, basically.
Okay. Gosh, I'm so,
I'll get a
hungry for
plate.
Thanksgiving dinner,
Dude,
guys. It's
I'm, like,
8:50 in the morning, and I'm like
Crazy excited about
dying
Thanksgiving.
for some turkey and potatoes.
But my point is, it's very interesting. I think we approach this podcast the way that we approach our individual Thanksgiving dinners. And Doge, I think you tend to want to walk through something with a little more structure. And I think Carter and I tend to take little bites from everything as we go. And I just think that's beautiful.
Is that how you guys eat every meal? Because every single meal, I eat one thing at a time.
I kind of think I just don't.
Unless I'm a
ever eat
Tex-Mex
one thing
boy,
at a time.
and then I'll mix
It's
the rice
like
and beans.
I'm a
but other than
mixy
that-
boy every meal.
I think I am too.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll have one of our favorite go-to pretty simple one-off meals is like doing tuna cakes, and we make like a homemade
Oh, nice.
Like a frosting and candles to put it in
homemade mayo, and then that's the base for kind of a smoked paprika sauce that we put on top of that with lemon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then it's supposed to be served on a bed of like arugula, and it is, and that's how we serve it. And it's all pretty and prime, but then I'm just mushing all that up. I'm putting it all in there together, mixing it.
Yeah.
So, Doge, if you've got like a burger and fries, are you finishing the burger before you eat the fries?
I've started in the past year of my life cutting the burger in half, eating half the burger, half the fries, and then deciding what I want to finish on.
Why
what do
so
I
much
want the last?
structure? Why so much
What do I want
structure?
the last
Combos
taste?
are, I love the combos.
I don't know, man.
That's okay. That's fine.
Man. You just don't understand because I think food is art on the edge of the abyss. Like
Well,
it
so
is
that's
equal
where I'm
parts
going
like
with this.
life
That's where I'm
and
going with this a
death,
little
and so
bit.
you have to be able to experience it. I don't just eat; I taste.
Yeah. Love
This is-
that scene, by the way.
This is such an interesting movie because it presents. I love something that makes me feel very complicated things about the messaging, because the messaging of this movie is essentially, Doge, you put it well last night, about the commodification of, in this case, the service
Culinary
industry's
art.
Yeah. And I think that, but not even just culinary, right? Because it even extends the metaphor into Margot, who is actually Aaron, is an escort, and he's calling her a member of the service industry, and that she's been commodified as disposable. Like she has been decided that she's disposable because of what she does for a living. Anyway, it's so funny because at the same time, this movie also treats our food shots with a lot of respect, but then makes fun of them in the text right next to the shot that the shot itself could have been a slow-mo TikTok that I stopped to watch because it was so interesting. Like, I don't know if you guys follow Amari, I think Guishan, the chocolatier guy.
Absolutely, I do. Are
I'll
you
watch
kidding me?
every time I
I'll
scroll
watch you
past
make
this
a
man.
I'm gonna watch you make a rocking horse out of chocolate. Why not?
Yeah,
it's
dog.
amazing.
Are you kidding me? A telescope?
Yeah,
Sure. I watch everything this man does. He's perfection. And it's funny. I weirdly had I can't remember Ray Fiennes' character's name. Give me uno momento. Chef Slovic?
Yeah.
Something he said really resonated with me, which is, this extends beyond the food metaphor here. The critique and general public access to higher level knowledge of something has ruined the art of it. And thus has circled back around to the best thing you can do is make something simple better than everybody else.
Yeah.
That's why he invited Nicholas Hoult and humiliated him in that kitchen.
Right.
Super pump. That's my favorite part of this movie.
Ooh.
I think that was visceral. It was kind of a...
Dude, it was hard to watch.
They have... It also seems like very modern, not soapbox, but very modern like theme, especially now with like access to everything. Like we can be experts on
I mean, you can even
anything.
take something called a master class from your phone while
Yeah.
you're in the backseat of a car on a road trip. Like,
We are in the top half tier of movie review critics. And what did we even do to deserve it?
Right.
Besides know each other and enjoy movies.
And
I think people
But
cared what we thought. Yeah.
The Nicholas Hoult, which he's phenomenal in everything he does. He's super underrated.
Oh
The
my
Nicholas Hoult storyline that culminates in that moment. I think there seemed to be such a keen awareness as to it's so cheesy, but like metaphorically, it felt like the movie was put together well, like a menu. It's like
Exactly.
we were following the same guidelines as our head chef would have, but to kind of lead us along, and Nicholas Hoult kind of he starts this kind of this charming character, and he's quirky a little bit, but then it's like, oh, he's obsessed. Oh, he's just absolutely rude, like completely. He's awful to Margot. He's saying certain things like he's over the top. Then the reveal that he knew. He knew what he was getting into.
Yeah,
and he was
huge.
just so ignorant and just like.
See, I don't think it was supposed to be ignorance. I think it was supposed to be at least how I read it was the metaphor was this is the person so in over their head with the art that they don't understand what stupid is and just think everything is good. So the idea of you're going to die if you come here. And he's like, dude, people won't even get it, man. Like it's so worth it because people don't understand it. It's like, no, you just got told you're going to get murdered.
Yeah, my ignorance that I was about to say was like to just go ahead and bring another life, like to not care.
I'm sorry
about Margot. Yeah, ignorant in that way.
Yeah.
Who's the only person that we end up enjoying in the movie.
Dude, I like the rich guy's wife too.
Yeah, she was great. But regardless, to have the like camera pan over because we start in the kitchen. Sometimes my super pumps and my favorite parts of the movies are the most like ingrained in my brain because something else was on in me to just like soak that in and have it burned in. But when the head chef is like, now you, and it just turns and you're like, we do all this subversion of expectations all the time of like who he's talking about.
Yeah, dude.
Especially with our line of sight because Margot and this kid are at the same table and it goes over to him. From that point, I was not in a theater anymore. I was in the kitchen.
Yep.
And the soundtrack was at an all-time high, which it was phenomenal. I really loved the soundtrack to this movie.
Same guy that did Hereditary.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so very good. But then to have him be like, hey, this is what you deserve. But here's the actual scenario of what's our best case scenario? They gave it to him.
Yeah.
And then they showed very plainly, is this really what you want?
Yeah.
All of this is for absolutely nothing.
Well, it would be like if Tarantino came up to us and was like, make a movie then, dude.
Yeah,
or
you do it then.
A better example would be like if like Vin or Denis Villeneuve or let's go with like a Christopher Nolan, somebody we love, somebody we adore, but maybe we have said some not perfect things about movies. If he was like, all right, you do it. I would crumble and fall apart. I would have no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's to illustrate the difference between critiquing something and knowing about it and being able
100%.
to actually participate in the practice of making something worth critiquing.
Yeah, yeah. And he wasn't even necessarily supposed to be playing the role of the critic, in my opinion. He was the one who is the behind the scenes person that's telling you how everything is done. And so our head chef is saying like, oh, so that makes you just as good.
Yeah.
So because you know all of this, that means because you quote unquote appreciate it the most, that you're taking away the artistry of what I do. You're taking away the secrets of what I do. To have someone who has the replica menu item, which we do all the time. It's like, hey, this is the exact same thing. Here's the equate version of something that you can't always have.
Yeah.
You know, here's the up and up version or whatever it's called. But yeah, to have him there and the tensity of like him making Rafe was also perfect. I don't want to jump too much all over possible super
Rafe
pumps.
was perfect.
Yeah.
But for him to just be like, wow, like we are setting the world aflame. We're going to do shallots and leeks
And two
with
lamb.
Butter.
Yeah, and butter. And he's like, look at this. But then all the shots of just everyone watching. Just
Yes. Oh my god.
Stone cold. And there's the recognition of the people that are, our customers, those being served, of them kind of know what's going on. They're like, oh my God, this poor guy.
In that moment, I was like, this is a little bit like Willy Wonka for big boys. Like it's a little bit like dark.
nice.
Wow,
Willy
that's
Wonka.
great.
You get nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, to wrap that up for my super pump, ultimately what made that scenario was what Nicholas Hoult was doing. We got to see him within 3 minutes maybe go from being supremely grateful to just on the precipice of taking his own life because he's been so embarrassed. I love that we don't know what was whispered in his ear.
I know.
Yeah.
And I know it must have been
Heinous.
absolutely
Heinous.
Stabbing. And our head chef doesn't even get to know what to say without being a victim of knowing exactly like what to say in those scenarios. Oh my God.
The scene for me, the Rafe Fiennes was
in the best way.
Rafe Fiennes was top 3 candidate for Super Pump for me. He lost out, but he's involved in my Super Pump. But what maybe his best scene to me in the movie is the like dismantling of Jeremy when they lay out the tarp on the floor and decorate it, and Jeremy walks out and he just tells him, "You want to be like me? You want my life, but you're not good enough. You'll never be like." That was that's the moment the movie changes, you know?
Yeah.
That is when it becomes
Because it's not just like
something-
food, people who are up their own butt with this weird food.
Yeah,
but it's like,
dude.
oh, something. Yeah. So he is like, we got to stop talking about him or else we got to really talk about him because Ralph Fiennes is my super pump.
Yeah.
He was far and away the most captivating thing to me. Like
He was a force.
like a very
Diabolical.
unique like performance that also
Really
felt
subtle.
like a million things I've seen before. Like it was so nuanced, and the script, like the dialogue that he's given is absolutely phenomenal. Like
I wonder how much the Succession team had to do with the actual dialogue, because that is maybe Succession's strongest element.
every single monologue that he gives introducing the next course is like unbelievable to me. He completely blew me away. And it's like, we're not breaking new ground. We're cooking leeks and shallots in butter to say that Ralph Fiennes is an excellent actor. Like, absolutely.
Sure,
obviously.
yeah.
Sure. None of us should be surprised by this, but he really blew me away.
He has
He
a
never
subtleness.
breaks. Yeah. He never just goes completely crazy. He still holds this because he's a professional.
Yeah.
Because he wants it to be perfect.
He is always
he's
in
in-
complete control of every
Yes.
other person in that room. Yeah.
Well, and he's an insane person, obviously, but there is something about him that you almost feel bad for. Like, you're almost like, man, he's just at his wits' end. And then you, at least for me, and then I take a step back and I'm like, oh no, he's like gonna murder all these people. Like, this is he's a cult.
I was rooting for him though. I think that's the interesting thing with the script and with Rafe's performance is like, by the end of it, I'm kind of rooting for him.
It's him
like,
and Anya Taylor-Joy. That's all
I
that's
like
left that
you.
care about.
I want you to succeed at what you want to do. I think what you want to do is horrible, but I really hope you get a win out of this.
Yeah. The interesting dynamic of him having some kind of redeeming quality to like actually let somebody go.
Yeah.
You know, he's the work. I don't think I see that too much. And I can't really pinpoint another moment to where our number one antagonist, one of his final moves, their final moves is to free our number one
So
protagonist.
that is actually my super pump.
Yeah. This
scene.
was almost my super pump. The cheeseburger
The
scene.
cheeseburger scene specifically. The way that we treat the
Very
cheeseburger.
nearly mine.
We treat the cheeseburger just like all the rest of the food. We still give it that still shot or that really
Did you
HD
not
up
want to
close.
freaking bury your face
Okay,
in that
so that's what I was
cheeseburger?
gonna say,
Cheeseburger,
right?
dude. Oh my gosh.
I think this is an intentional choice, but of all of the food, even visually the most pleasing of the whole film is the simple cheeseburger with the fries. The push
that
with the
lets-
juice.
on the styrofoam plate. Yeah.
But I think I would say that if I could
That was
boil down
brilliant.
the
I love that.
messaging of this movie, I would boil it down to the cheeseburger scene of, it's what I said earlier. I think this movie is saying when everyone has access to the same level of knowledge that an expert has, when everybody can break down gastronomy and presentation and plating, even when they have no skill to back it up, sometimes the most artistically fulfilling thing you can do is just be the best at the simple thing.
Yeah.
It takes all of the fawning and poetic metaphors and food comparisons out, and it's just, here is a good cheeseburger. Enjoy.
I think, I mean, it's the thing of like,
And it's the
art
thing that lets her
is-
go.
art is purely intellectual unless there is joy in the creation and the consumption.
Yeah, it's a math equation unless
Yeah.
there's love and heart in it. Yeah.
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 And Margot is just so incredibly savvy it didn't feel out of place for her. So obviously
I agree.
ATJ did a great job of making us feel like,
doesn't she always?
Yeah.
not just street smarts, but when she gets into the room and is able to see him through the years, she decided to go to the very beginning, that catalyst moment of very likely what got him into it.
The
Saw
only
his
picture
smile.
when he's smiling.
We zoom in
Yeah.
on that. Yeah. And so she's like, that's it. And so she has the idea and the
And-
nonverbals for her to reach that point and ask him that was, and it didn't feel as much as her manipulating him, which ultimately she's looking out for herself to
Yeah,
try and
sure.
survive
Yeah.
this. But also, I think he knew what she was doing. And then ultimately it was like, you know what? This would be a nice little Viking funeral situation.
Yeah.
for me.
I
want to go
appreciate-
out.
I get to do it for fun one more
He
time.
had that joy
before I go.
again. That was kind of an emotional scene for
Yeah.
me of him making the cheeseburger.
Well, and I really liked that her way of saying essentially like, I'm good to go, was literally asking for a to-go bag. Like she was like, could I get a to-go box for this? I don't know. It's both funny It's something this movie did so well. It was both funny and very good at the same time.
It's such a narrow needle to thread because, and we talked about that last week with Wakanda Forever for a whole different set of reasons. But like this movie, like the cheeseburger scene to me, I started to feel like we were getting a little bit of speed wobbles where it was like, oh, did the movie climb up its own butt about a cheeseburger? But then like letting it play out and realizing like, I think there are so many moments where this movie could easily have tipped to one side or the other and fallen
100%.
off the tightrope. And it's just,
I was worried that the chase scene when they let all the guys go was going to be like a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
And that we were going to change genre in the middle. But no, it was about 3 minutes and then we were back.
If that.
There was the chicken coop scene where he
gives him the egg.
Here's
critics,
a prize for being the last caught.
Yeah, that felt, just to have the hand introduce itself from out of frame, felt so Wes Anderson in that
Big
moment.
time,
just
dude.
Just like, here's this thing for you. But it was great. And the laughs, there's a lot of movies to where, something that I learned to appreciate more, but there's a lot of movies to where I'll sit in the theater and laugh at all the places that I feel like the producers intended for me to laugh. Like the people who made this movie were like, you're supposed to laugh here. I specifically had this moment with Knives Out. When I was seeing Knives Out, there was people that were just not laughing at certain points.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you out of your mind? That was hilarious. But it felt like this crowd, everything hit how it was supposed to an extent. And if it was ever something that I didn't expect, it was more laughter than I thought it would.
Yeah. Yeah. It is time for shout announcements though. And nobody's laughing about that except for me. It's a shout announcements, but it's Thanksgiving time, so it's the Thanksgiving shout announcements.
Yeah.
Chunkies, it's me. Chunkies, it's me, your father. We are going to review. Here's the thing. This is not just my favorite Christmas movie of all time to launch our action Christmas season here with Two Chunks. It is one of my favorite movie experiences of all time.
It's so stupid and I love it so much.
We are going to be reviewing Jingle All the Way next week to
starring
kick off.
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, to kick off as Jamie. To kick off. Oh my God. I'm so excited.
I really am so excited.
Kicking off Action Christmas.
Yeah, I can't wait. And if you can't wait, there's a way you can get in on the action of non-Christmas through Discord. Jump on into our Discord. We got. Look, listen, it's part of our Patreon. But what I want to push you towards is Discord. We do have that $3 tier of Patreon that gets you access to bonus episodes, and that is a good time. It also gets you extra votes anytime we do a vote series. But Discord is where all the heat is at.
Yeah.
It's where
it's all of our number one customers.
We've got a channel in there called Fives that I adore, and it's where usually Carter, but people will ask for your top 5.
It got a little rogue there for a while.
It did, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. Yeah. We just had a nice little discussion on what's your top 5 Thanksgiving food items, and let me tell you what, it's all green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole is a pretty runaway success in our Discord.
It's surprising to me. I like green bean casserole a lot. It's just surprising to me that it's such a winner for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, man. You just have to see the right movie. You've got to get a bite of the right casserole.
Yeah.
And I think it'll move on up.
I'm speaking this into existence. I'm claiming this, manifesting it. By the time this episode comes out, our Barbarian bonus episode will have hit that bonus episode feed. So if you want to know what we thought about that, it is accessible. It is within reach. It is no longer trapped in the basement of my editing queue. We want you to tell your friends about us. I mean, listen, you have discovered this beautiful podcast light, and y'all are out there hiding under a bushel.
No, let it shine.
Let it shine. You got to tell your friends about us. It's the only way, for us to be happy. We can't rest. We have to keep doing this podcast as penance until a certain number of people can hear it, and then our souls will be free. Yeah. And once every soul on this planet has heard our podcast, then we can enter into our eternal rest. So help us enter into our eternal rest and tell your friends about this podcast.
Are waiting for us.
Black Friday deals, the gifts are unreal. Shop JCPenney for thousands of deals so low, no coupons needed. Through Sunday, get up to 75% off fine jewelry. Bring home Cooks and Black & Decker kitchen electrics now $22.99 plus $10 mail-in rebate. And get Memorex home electronics starting at $27.99. We got your holiday.
Shop, JCPenney.
Offers valid on select items 3/11/27. Excluded from coupons. Conditions and exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Peloton's best offer of the season is here. Get up to $300 off accessories when you purchase a Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread. Choose from a variety of accessories like our cycling shoes, a heart rate monitor, non-slip grip dumbbells, and more. If you've been looking for a sign to join Peloton, this offer gives you everything you need to get going. This limited time offer ends November 28th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer starts November 14th and ends November 28th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you more of what you love, like premium travel benefits and access to Taylor Swift tickets. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. Plus, get access to Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, presented by Capital One. Maybe I'll see you there. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Fields of that one Matt Damon movie no one remembers.
Man, what a
Wasn't that Charlton
disappoint-
Copley?
It was Charlton Copley and Matt Damon, and it was
What's
so
that director's
disappointing.
name?
Neil Blomkamp.
Neil
It was his
Blomkamp,
follow-up
yeah,
to
man.
District 9, which is like a top 5 of all time
Yeah,
for
the
me. And
movie
Elysium
rules.
was so disappointing,
I have
and he's
heard
done
that-
nothing since then.
I've heard that in retro, it wasn't Chappie after Elysium?
Oh, Chappie, yeah.
I've heard that in retrospect, Chappie rules, but it didn't get great reviews at the beginning.
Chappie does rule.
I
Saw
haven't seen
that
it.
opening day. Chappie rules. He was rumored to direct an Alien prequel for a while, and then Ridley Scott was like, no, and made Prometheus,
For
which
a long time, he was rumored to direct the Halo movie. It was going to be a Neil Blomkamp directed Halo
which
movie.
would have been so great. I don't know why
awesome.
everybody just forgot about him. I love Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Is any of this in the episode?
I don't think so.
Sure.
Is it? It can be.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We're back.
What do you
We're
want?
back, though. From
We're here.
shout-outs.
Here we are.
Look-
This is the kind of stuff that just happens. You know? We
Here's
just
the thing.
talk about things.
Here's the thing. I'm going to super dump. Okay. Okay.
Do it then.
I think in a lot of ways, the general acceptance of what is happening from the guests at the party is just part of the metaphor.
Yeah, absolutely. They pay with their credit cards right before they get turned into s'mores
Yeah.
because they're so
And it-
up their own butts about this is an experience.
It is very funny. And
Yeah.
it really does work for me. But I think I would have liked to have seen, he even makes a comment about like, at any point you could have gotten up and fought back, which is again, part of the metaphor.
Yeah.
However, I guess I wish that there had been maybe more visceral reactions than just like panic and sitting back down at your table. But
Yep.
I'm having a hard time with the super dump because I'm not sure if I dislike it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it strikes me as odd and it stands out in my brain as sort of like almost out of step with reality in a way that the rest of the movie wasn't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that is carrying that metaphor forward of like people will endure anything if they think that it is an experience that is exclusive to them. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
If
That's
they
gonna
think
give
that they're
them
getting
clout.
the star
Yeah.
treatment, they will put themselves through anything. And so I understand where they're coming from.
I mean, that's why they're all crying as their chocolate's melting and saying, yes, chef, to him at the end.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand the metaphor and I even like the metaphor.
Very midsummer end to their
It
lives.
is
by the way.
midsummer. Yeah.
I guess I just wish that there had been a little more discussion of fighting back, but I'm struggling with the super dump because I don't even know that I actually want that because
Yeah,
it
it's
leads
tough.
to a really great metaphor with a really nice bow on it. There just wasn't a lot that I didn't like about this.
I think you could have your cake and eat it too if like one of the finance bros was killed trying to escape or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because we don't need all three
We
finance
cut the
bros
ring
at the
finger
end.
off.
We did
You
cut
know,
the ring finger
The
off.
infidelity, we cut
Yeah.
that off. And
Carter, I didn't even put that together until right now.
Really?
that he was,
Yep.
They chose his ring finger.
My honest thought was just that would be the worst finger to have to lose because it's so in the middle of everything. You got to use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's how I hold stuff, you know?
Only the ring finger.
My super dump is hard too, and I'm going to try and explain it. My least favorite course, and in terms of measuring against the rest of the menu. Okay. my least favorite course was, and it's really tough coming from a young white man, Man's Folly. And so I thought that was powerful. I thought that was a great, to be able to say, like, there was this situation in terms of our head chef being like, hey, I made advances I shouldn't have. I'm giving you ultimate power in this course. And then we find out it was her idea, the girl who stabs him in nearly a major artery, like down there by his leg.
Well, she does what he said he did to his dad, too.
Yeah.
Exact same thing.
Yeah, stabs him and then had the idea for killing everybody. So what was tough for me about that is that was the only time that I kind of strayed a little bit from, okay, not everything really necessarily had to be about the service industry, right? But that one was one of the only courses that didn't quite fit for me personally. And I'm fine for somebody to talk me into it. It won't change my super jump.
Yeah.
And then also what it did is, and again, that maybe this was the point. So many of the other aspects of this movie and the narratives were done so well and also so subtly. It's almost, all of it is almost like Ralph Fiennes' acting job, right?
Yeah.
It's like this subtlety to, wait, was I supposed to learn something? I might have. I might learn it later.
Yeah.
In Man's Folly, ultimately we find out, he actually gave this female sous chef a lot of power, right? And I say female because it's like maybe that was the narrative, was like, hey, I don't deserve to have this much power about it. And she ultimately makes one of the most lasting decisions on the entire menu, when in my mind, that didn't make any sense to me, that it was her idea to kill everybody. When ultimately what is the point of the night? Like, did she have the whole idea for the menu? And so really, is she the worm tongue? Like, is she the person behind the curtain that's actually the surrogate for the ultimate evil aspects of this? I don't know. So it got a little bit confusing for me. That was the only time that I had been confused. But it made for a great scene. It made for a great course. I love having only the women in there together and all the men thinking that they could get away, right? And abandoning, except for one of them, who he wanted to stay close by. Nicholas Hoult wanted to stay close by so he could actually see what he was missing out on, because he figured they might be getting another meal.
He takes the food that they were given when he comes inside. He's like, I want one of those. I want one of those.
Yeah,
He's still
absolutely.
taking part of the experience. So can I give you my read on that just a little bit, Carter?
Yeah.
So in that scene specifically, because he mentions that the reason he's giving her this power to do this to him is because he made unwanted sexual advances at her and makes a whole point of it. And I think that I didn't love it either, by the way. I'm not defending it because I love it. It's just what my read was of the scene. To me, the metaphor continued into that moment specifically was to say that when people are when highly creative and highly popular, specifically, people are in positions of power, oftentimes the people underneath them feel forced to put up with horrific behavior in order to stay close to the sun, you know? And so I think that's sort of what it was going for there. As far as her revelation that it was her idea to kill, that I don't get. Yeah. So I'm with you there. I don't really understand the significance of her being the one who decided everyone should die. I assume what they're trying to say is that Ralph Fiennes came up with the idea to punish these people, but she was the one that said, let's make it our opus and let's kill them.
I mean, I think it's valuable that we say, hey, this can happen anywhere for the collection of persecuted and the collection of the persecutor. But it was like, did Rafe want to also get stabbed because this was the closest he was to the people that he hates? Because it's like, he is being what is technically what would be more assumed of the persons in power, right? What's funny is he also has power, clearly, because he's celebrity in that sense. And so, I don't know. It was just a little bit off. It kind of feels a little bit to me how I felt about Riri's inclusion in Wakanda Forever. I really enjoyed her.
Yeah.
I love all this stuff, but with so many big hitting themes, when you introduce another one that should have as much clout and because everything else is there, I would rather you just exclude it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know? And again, that's hard to say as a man.
Sure.
Being like,
I think the only...
I'm totally fine for poo-pooing on that whole situation and bringing that to light, but it doesn't need to be not one of the top 10 things I remember about that
I
movie.
think my only objection to it is the thing that the decision that it was, the revelation that it was her suggestion that they all die. Because that, to me, felt like that was more of a joke. Like, to get the shock laugh of like, oh, that was actually my suggestion. I'm really proud of it. Like, that's funny. That's a funny line, and that's a funny situation to put them in. But that almost breaks Rafe's character motivation, I think.
Sure.
And Jordan, I think you're right. I think we have to view it as like he wanted to punish people, and she was like, what if we punish them to death? And he's like, oh, I like that. And then we could all die too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's what I assume. That's what I assume.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked much about the actual courses themselves. I thought the laser printed tortillas was brilliant.
I love
like
that.
such
so
a fun
With their
reveal.
sins printed on the tortillas.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh.
So interesting.
Yeah. And that Nicholas Holt's character was what he literally just did.
Yeah.
That was kind of that was one of the horror elements to me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like the
for
watcher,
sure.
you know?
I'm going to read
Yeah.
this.
That was
I'm
excellent.
going to read this IMDb trivia verbatim because I want to make sure I get it right. The lavish food layouts were prepared by renowned French chef Dominique Crenn, the only
I know who she is, by the way.
the only female
I love
chef in the
Dominique
U.S.
Crenn.
to attain 3 Michelin stars for her restaurant.
Wow.
Though many of the cast and crew were often tempted to taste the delicacies between takes, they had to be reminded that the food items were predominantly props and thus inedible. That's funny. I wonder if that cheeseburger was a real cheeseburger, and that's why it just like
Had to be.
subconsciously
It
looks
had to
better
be.
to us than the other food, right?
Oh, it had
Yeah.
to be real, man. Look,
Dominique Crenn is one of my favorite like food personalities.
Really?
She is so freaking cool. She is so cool, so
I'm not
funny,
familiar with her.
so free. Yeah, she's in. I mean, if she a lot of the time she would come as like a Top Chef judge,
Okay.
where she's there at like the final table. But then also she's competed in Iron Chef Gauntlet kind of thing, so you
Cool.
can actually see her cook. But she's one of mine and Chelsea's favorites. I was pretty pleased to hear that she was the plater.
like food
It
stylist.
had to be.
Yeah, it had to be real.
I wish
Yeah.
I wanted to be a fly on the wall for like this being pre-screened by chefs.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see what they think.
Something
about it.
Wouldn't that
fun
be the
about it.
ultimate? That would be the ultimate disrespect, right? If you just had like a graphic designer come and do the plating stuff. I was thinking that while we were watching. Like, this has to be somebody who's like the real world equivalent of a non-horrible Rafe Fiennes. You know what I
Right,
mean? Who
yeah.
has that expertise.
There's
who's
an
doing this
actual
plating.
love for like food and the craft of food in this movie, which is very fun. It
Yeah.
reminds me weirdly of, it's just timely like that, but it reminds me of The Bear in that way, where it's like,
Yeah.
I would also say that The Bear is a thriller, just a very different kind of thriller.
Oh my gosh, the Bear's
like,
so good.
That's two things that have come out this year, kind of out of the blue for me at least, that are centered around food and a genuine love of food, but telling a much bigger story than that. And I think
It's because I think they're hitting now. They're so timely because so many people became like self-described foodies during the pandemic when they had nothing to do other than sit around and watch cooking videos and stuff. I'm guilty
100%.
of that. I learned way more about cooking in the pandemic than I would have if I was not stuck at home. And so I think there's a natural response to that of like, hey, you know a lot about it, but you couldn't do it.
the course, I think it was the second or third course, the breadless bread course.
Yeah.
I think it was the second course.
was hilarious.
Yep.
But B, all I could think, as soon as it came out, I was pretty locked into the metaphor of this movie almost immediately.
Yeah.
As soon as the breadless bread course came out, all I could think of is every time a bad movie comes out and somebody defends it by saying, I think that's exactly how the director wanted you to feel.
He wanted you to be angry that the movie
That's what it
wasn't as
was
good
when
as
it's
you
like,
wanted it to
when
be.
it's like, no,
Yeah.
you don't get it. The fact that he gave you no bread because we don't deserve bread, that's what he wants us to feel. It's like, no,
It's a
dude,
commentary on food and class.
It's asinine. You're getting screwed right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you paid $12.50 a seat and you get 4 little penny-sized dollops of what
Yeah.
should go on your bread. That is
So I think maybe that's
so perfect.
Maybe that course is a key to understanding sort of the continuation of the metaphor is that at every turn, Rafe Fiennes is demonstrating that he has the absolute power
Yeah.
over everything in the situation. And even that is like, maybe his apology could ring a little hollow when he's apologizing to that sous chef.
Sure.
Because he
Because
still
she wouldn't
has,
stab him if he didn't let her.
right, he still has
Yeah.
all the power in that situation.
Yeah. No, that's a great point.
May I super dump?
I'd love it.
I hated this movie, so it's really tough to pick one thing. I think her name was Julie, the rich guy's wife. What was her name?
Rich guy's wife, the guy that cheated?
Yeah. I don't
Or are you just saying because she doesn't have a name?
Well, no, I don't think she did anything. Did she do anything bad other than be married to a bad man?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think she
Well,
deserved to be punished.
But I think that's why she encouraged. She's the only one that is like, get out of here, Margot, at the very end.
Yeah.
But she also didn't really, well,
She also didn't consumed the food. She ate
That's
the food.
what he
She
was
didn't
more mad
taste
about.
it.
He wasn't as mad about the affair. He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
mad
yeah.
about their.
here was a couple that's been there 11 times
Yeah.
and don't remember anything that he's done.
Okay,
So
it doesn't bug me then.
now we've got the facet of like, you don't even appreciate it, but you're just here.
You're just here because
It's
it
like
builds your
you're not
reputation.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think, though, that her telling Margot to just go was her having the recognition of like, my husband has done wrong. I'm done with him. You were an innocent. I mean,
well,
it's his fault that even happened.
She is Margot in that sense, right? Like, if what they're being punished for is her husband's affair, then she has also been unwillingly dragged into this, just like Margot has. But if we're going to justify her position there with she disrespected the artistry and the love put into this thing, then I guess by Ray Fiennes' standard, sorry, not Ray Fiennes. Ray Fiennes is a great dude. His character. By the chef's
I can't believe they
standard-
filmed Ray Fiennes killing all these people, dude. They got that on camera. He's going to go to jail forever now.
By the chef's standard, she does deserve to be there. But I think there was a little camaraderie there where she was like, hey, we both don't really deserve this, but you get a chance to go, so you got to take it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was something significant, I think, to her being the one that was like, go.
As I'm saying it out loud, I recognize that she absolutely has a reason to be there. Because if we're to regard that, like, they're like, everybody's there because they have in some way robbed chef, what's his name, the head chef, of his power. If that's like kind of like what they've done, like the finance bros have like sort of bought it out from under him. They've robbed him of his power because they're not enjoying it. They're just using him to elevate their own status. Nicholas Holt's robbed him of his power because he claims that he understands everything the chef is doing.
I love that he's punishing Johnny Legs just because he made a bad movie.
Because he robbed him of his power. Because
so funny.
Genuinely, it was like, this is my time. I could enjoy this, and you've kept me from enjoying my day off. Yeah.
And I'm just putting this together. Right now, that he is punishing Johnny Legs for doing the exact same thing. He's doing the same thing to John Leguizamo's character that he is mad at everybody else for doing, which is, I didn't appreciate your art and you don't deserve love, essentially.
Yep.
You are just your art, and which is sort of what he's doing to Nicholas Holt, because Nicholas Holt has taken the person, the skill, the time out of art and said that art is a math
It's just
problem.
knowledge. Yep.
And as long as these two sides of the equation are balanced, then it is good art. Man, I'm finding more to unpack from this movie. Are we up our own butts right now?
I don't know.
Oh no!
I think based on the
Have we climbed up? Are we eating breadless bread right now? Going,
I think
yes,
based on the conceit of this movie, the power of an artist is stripped from them when you no longer enjoy their art, but you use it. When you eat it, you don't taste it. And I think that we're tasting this art. I think that's where we're going.
We're more Lost Boys.
Sure, dude.
Yeah.
We're more Lost Boys than
I love that.
than Hawthorne.
Exactly.
Taste, don't eat was a beautiful scene.
That was when I knew.
Did you say that? Was it one of
I
you
thought
mentioned it?
I might have said
That
it.
was when I knew that he was
loved
my
it.
super pump. I was just like blown away.
Yeah,
Man, Ray Fiennes has this.
Because he was also warm. Like there was also like almost a Robin Williams fatherly warmth to him in this.
That's what I was going to say, is that he has this unique ability to hopscotch, to double dutch between inviting and terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Unless
scary.
you take away his nose, then he's just
He's just called Snake Man.
yeah.
But has everybody here seen In Bruges?
Come to the
Have you seen In Bruges?
to dine.
Yes.
Doge, have you? Oh, very good.
That's very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Have you seen In Bruges, Doge?
No, I haven't, but I hope that good joke makes up for it.
Yeah, it was very good. So Ray Fiennes is, I can't remember his character's name in that either, but Ray Fiennes is sort of like the
It's like James Bond's boss, I think, right, in that movie?
James Bond's boss. Yeah, that's it. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up because I'm about to be so embarrassed if I'm thinking of the wrong person.
Is that the one where he really hates that teenager with glasses?
No, I'm right. He's in it. So he's sort of like the boss of the two people that are the hitmen in this movie, and he's kind of cold but also funny in that. And then I think of Grand Budapest, which is like maybe my favorite Ray Fiennes role.
It's wonderful.
He's just so I just love him, and here I think he is like on full display. 100%. The spectrum of what he can bring to the table is so subtle and powerful, and he is just this ever watchful force in this kitchen the entire movie. You are constantly aware of where he is standing, and I think it's just really
it feels like he has some similarities to Hopkins in a lot of ways to me.
Oh sure,
it was reminding me of
a younger
Hannibal.
Hopkins could have done this.
I think he might have even had more screen time than Hopkins though.
Yeah,
no, for sure.
It is a non-franchise movie, and it is released in November over kind of like the prestige season. Do we foresee any kind of awards nominated? Not necessarily just Oscars, Golden Globes, fine too.
I doubt it.
It's been nominated for a few things at some smaller festivals. Like I think it has a Best Feature nomination at a festival. I don't know.
I would imagine I could see Best Original Screenplay.
Could too.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I mean, especially I think, the Academy is pretty political.
Yeah.
I know that it's political. And they'd love to look over at the Emmy side, I'm sure, and see how much Succession has done. And here's the same team. We'd be crazy not to do something. Because the Succession team has destroyed their competition over on that side.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, well, are they just not as good at movies? They're probably thinking of the...
I'll tell you what would be fun is if the Oscars would do some smaller, more casual categories, maybe that don't necessarily get a traditional Academy Award, but maybe there's some like other thing. Because I would love to see a category of like best single shot. And like we're putting up not necessarily the product as a whole, but like what
This shot was incredible.
Yeah, which shot was the most iconic or is going to stay? I don't know. Just little things like that I think would make it really interesting because I would love to see.
What's your top shot in this movie?
Cheeseburger.
Dude, it might be cheeseburger.
How do we define a shot in movie business? Is it a frame? That's different than a frame.
No, I don't think it's a frame. Although I would love that.
A
Would
frame
be
is
really
one pause.
unique.
Like when you pause it, that's a frame. Like when
The
it changes
best
to something
frame
else.
of the year would be unique and really fun. I think maybe the cheeseburger. I don't know why. Y'all know I'm an absolute. I'm trying to think of the family friendly way to say this. Floozy for cheeseburgers. You already know this. We already know this.
Yes, we know this.
But that cheeseburger looked so good. But it also was like the culmination of the metaphor to me.
Yeah.
It's a powerful cheeseburger.
I love how the big finale of how he's killing everyone is him just absolutely shatting on s'mores.
Yes. Yeah.
He turns them into s'mores. The chocolate
like
running
this.
down the reviewer's eyeballs.
Yeah.
That was that's a big shot. That's
probably the shot.
And the fact that they continued to give her the broken emulsion
Yes.
or whatever that was.
That was so great.
And it kept getting bigger and bigger. It was like, here's a big bowl. We know you wanted more
Some more
of that.
broken emulsion for you.
You've watched Succession, right? And
I'm not
you have
caught up on Succession.
I have not
You're
watched
caught
it.
up. Okay. So I think my favorite like bit part in this was the magazine guy that was with the food reviewer, the restaurant reviewer.
Who just agreed with everything she said.
And he just reminds me of Tom Wamsgans from Succession so much, who is my favorite Succession character by about a mile. And so I was just eating every word he said up with a fork. Everything he said, I was giggling at the entire movie. I was really blown away by this in a cool way. It's unique.
It's not people. It wasn't people.
Dude, I really thought when they brought the
wrong.
bones out, I was like, oh, Doge is so stupid, dude. That's people. That's human
got
meat
us.
right there. But he got us. He tweaked us. It's time to rate. It's time to rate this movie using the scientific cinema scale, the same science that gives us the gastronomy type foods, which I've never eaten before, and it scares me a little bit. But scientific cinema scale is perfect, and it goes a little something like this. The best thing we could ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it, buy that poster. The next best thing is buy it. That's followed by rent it, and then stream it. After that is forget it, and last but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us. I'll go, I'm buying the menu. I really, really liked it. This has probably, I think, maybe squeezed into my top 5 of the year. I'd have to sit down and really make a list.
That's tough.
But
It's been a good year for movies.
Loved this. I just thought that I would watch this again in a heartbeat. It's also nice and bite-sized. It's an hour 45.
Yeah.
I feel like every movie is 3 hours long now. Hey, Marvel, more is not always more. But
It was in the case of Black Panther.
It was with Black Panther. I could have watched that movie for 6 hours. But I felt, even with the menu as it was ending, like I could have watched another hour of this. And I'm glad that I didn't. It showed some restraint.
Yeah. I mean, I buy it too. It is pretty clean.
Yeah,
like
man.
it is well put together. And I really just enjoyed it. Every aspect of movie making that I love was top notch on all of this. It was really good. Just except for I didn't buy the poster because of just the handful of things that It was kind of like we got high on our own, you know, I don't even know what the term
Supply.
would be, but they were just doing everything so well. And they're like, well, why don't we also add this? Like, what do we think that is? It feels like that big moment of her saying like, it was my idea was like an actress that ad-libbed. Everybody laughed their heads off in production.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay,
We gotta
well,
keep it.
we can't use it. Well, why can't we use it? And then it comes down to the fact, it's like, well, let's just use it.
I think Mark Mylad's going to bust down your door and be like, okay, then you make it. You make a movie then.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to change things up a bit, and I'm going to buy the menu.
Oh, nice. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I thought I might try something new. It was awesome. Like, I genuinely don't really have a real super dump. I would love to see this again, like, pretty soon. This is a movie that I want to show people, which is always a cool metric for me. I would love to find somebody who's like, yeah, I've never heard of this, and be like, watch this with me. This is going to be a blast. It's so fun.
Yeah. Truly. Even for if Chunky's out there, if you are wary because of the horror tag on this, you're fine.
Listen to me. I ain't scared.
You're fine.
Yeah, unless, I mean, there's a couple, I would call them quick bursts of violence, but it's not incredibly over the top.
As long as you don't care particularly about whether the back of a head stays intact or whether somebody has 9 or 10 fingers, you'll be fine.
You're good. You're all good. You're all good. Yeah, no, it's a great movie. If you're using our review to help you decide if it's worth a watch, I would say definitely go
watch it.
this. This is fun.
Yeah,
we need more
it's
movies
awesome.
like this. We need a lot more movies like this.
It's fun. Yeah, if you're looking for a way to escape with your siblings or maybe siblings-in-law over Thanksgiving and just like go have some sibling or sibling-in-law time, like sort of your family, the next generation, go see the menu. That's fun.
Yeah. Don't take your parents, though. Ugh.
Parents just don't understand.
Next week, we're going to be entering into our Action Christmas series with a little movie called Jingle All the Way,
Yeah.
starring our favorite big boy, Arnold.
Jamie
Skywalker.
I cannot wait. I'm very excited. It's Quizzamas time once again.
Yep.
To end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our name and what dish we would make if Chef had called us out and called us to the kitchen.
Easy. And you know what? I would have impressed him and he would have let me live.
For 2 chunks and a hunk, my name's Jordan Wonders. It's going to be a breakfast sandwich. I would have asked him immediately for a fresh English muffin. Would have asked him for 2 farm fresh eggs, a little bit of cheddar cheese, and I'd get somebody on grating that for me because I'm not going to do that myself, so I'm going to have them do that. I would get some flaky salt, some fresh cracked pepper, and some thick cut bacon. We're talking the kind that might as well be ham, just thick.
Yeah.
And I would just put him together. But here's what I'm going to do. This is the part where he would probably kill me anyway. I am going to put ketchup on it.
I thought you were going to say Lay's barbecue chips, so I would let you live a little longer.
The thinnest drizzle of ketchup on a breakfast sandwich really has like an absolute stranglehold on me for the last 6 months.
You'd be like, Chef, can I have some Heinz ketchup? And you'd be like, no, make your ketchup. Make the ketchup to put on the sandwich.
I would just sit on some tomatoes.
Sit on them maters.
Give me some smashed tomatoes, and I don't know how to make ketchup. I'm Dosh, and I would have blown his mind with my certified award-winning poblano chili.
That scene would have been a lot longer, huh?
Takes a bit. I'd be like, give me about 40. Can I live for the next 45 to an hour while this simmers and everybody gets to know each other, and then we can eat my chili?
Yeah.
Chef, do you have a crock pot, sir?
Chef, check back with me in 8 hours, sir.
Yes, chef.
No, I make it on the stovetop. You can get a good simmer going. You don't need
Dutch
all that
of?
time. You don't need all that time. Yeah, I do a Dutch of. What am I, a farmer? Of course I do a Dutch of.
Actually, I think it's probably a very farmer
I think
dish to
probably
have,
farmers
yeah.
do use Dutch ovs.
It might be. I'm
They probably
Carter.
wouldn't use an air fryer. If I made air fryer chili, they'd be like,
If you made chili in the air
that's not how
fryer,
we do it on a ranch.
I'd kill you.
Wow. All right. Very violent. I'm Carter, and I would say, Chef, what's your hottest peppers? What are the hottest peppers that you have? And I'm sure he would have something incredibly hot. I was like, I need an emulsion blender, please. Excellent. You've got it. Start emulsing all this. I was like, also, can I get some protective eyewear? Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you. Put it on. Start just kind of like all the hottest peppers. I was like, sir, Chef, do you have any puffer fish? Like, yes, I do.
You could have
Wonderful.
left this.
Thank you very much. You're going to really like this. You know what? I'll take more than one, please. Yes, I'd like to increase my chances. I mean, the flavor profile. And
You put the whole fish in the blender too?
whole fish.
Yeah.
It's coming in here into the blender with all these hot peppers. And I've the entire time I've had a massive pan just heating up with oil.
Yeah.
And I just throw all that in as
Make like
if
a
I'm
tear
doing
gas?
the Pepsi, as if I'm doing like the Pepsi Minto challenge.
Yeah.
Let those chemicals hit the air and book it. Mine's just a legitimate escape
that's
plan.
true.
How can I drop a bomb into this oil with my pufferfish Carolina Reaper mixture?
Wow.
Drop it in there.
Well, that's what we're trying.
Hopefully they don't have their protective goggles on. I learned this because I accidentally added Last Dab, which is the hottest hot sauce
To a skillet?
on. Yes.
Oh no.
As I was
Just
heating
chemical
stuff up
warfare in
and
your kitchen.
did almost kill my family. Like it got all up in our house.
Yeah.
I had chemical feelings in my eyes and in my nose, and it was miserable.
That's brutal.
Even Nana was like, "What's going on?"
How did you do this?
That's our dog, not our grandma or something that lives with us. But yeah, I'd be making a little cocktail, little get me out of here cocktail.
You could just ask him if he has any bombs.
And
bomb.
for my final
Thank you,
dish, do you have grenades?
Do you have any bombs?
Also, do you have a key of any kind? I'm in for a metallic flavor here. Yeah, sure. What about like a front door key?
I would love
Do you have one of
to
those?
make for you tonight my signature dish, guns.
Chef, this meal is called A Walk to a Boat Off This Island. And let me tell you how it's about to go.
Yeah. Do you have, I just need an empty bottle. Do you have a rag? Could you please douse that in vodka? Thank you very
Okay,
much.
for my first ingredient, I'm going to need a list of everyone's allergies. Then we're going to go ahead and use
This is
that
why you
as
just
the grocery list.
peanuts onto somebody's face.
Just spitting chewed cashews at the tree nut lady.
Yeah. Where do you keep your EpiPens? Is it locked? Okay, can I
we
have
leave it that way?
key?
Is that
Thank
all right?
you. Can we leave it locked? Thank you. It's all about the menu. It's got to be perfect.
Who's allergic to bananas?
Black Friday deals. The gifts are unreal.
Shop JCPenney for thousands of deals so low, no coupons needed. Through Sunday, get up to 75% off fine jewelry. Bring home Cooks and Black & Decker kitchen electrics now $22.99 plus $10 mail-in rebate. And get Memorex home electronics starting at $27.99. We got your holiday.
Shop, JCPenney.
Offers valid on select items 3/11/27. Excluded from coupons. Conditions and exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
When you drive the brand ranked #1 in dependability by J.D. Power, you can stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Visit your local Kia dealer today to see yourself behind the wheel of the brand ranked #1 in dependability by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Kia received the fewest reported problems among all brands in the J.D. Power 2022 U.S. Vehicle Dependability Study based on 2019 models. See jdpower.com/awards for 2022 details.
Peloton's best offer of the season is here. Get up to $300 off accessories when you purchase a Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread. Choose from a variety of accessories like our cycling shoes, a heart rate monitor, non-slip grip dumbbells, and more. If you've been looking for a sign to join Peloton, this offer gives you everything you need to get going. This limited time offer ends November 28th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer starts November 14th and ends November 28th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you more of what you love, like premium travel benefits and access to Taylor Swift tickets. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. Plus, get access to Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, presented by Capital One. Maybe I'll see you there. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.